Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture on performance test on centrifugal pumps. In this video, we are going to conduct the performance test on centrifugal pump virtually, and we'll plot the operating characteristics of centrifugal pump. So the theory behind working principle of centrifugal pump is it has mainly three parts. One is centrifugal pump here, and it has sump or suction area, and there is a delivery area, or we can say this is delivery pump. So the any fluid, water or any fluid, is made to flow from sump to the overhead tank due to the work done on the fluid by the pump. Parts of the centrifugal pump can be explained as below. So it has a casing. Inside that we can see there is a rotor. It is also called as impeller. It has number of blades. We can see these blades are directed towards the backward, or we can say backward facing blades, and when the pump is switched on, this motor starts running, and because of that the impeller also starts running, and the water or any fluid which is present at the center will be made to go out radially, or it will be thrown out radially towards the casing due to the centrifugal force acted by the blades on the fluid. To measure the pressure in the channel, we have a measuring device, that is pressure gauges. After centrifugal pump, that is high pressure gauge, and before the centrifugal pump, that is called vacuum gauge or suction gauge. This is suction pipeline and this is delivery pipeline. We have a valve here and there is a flange here, and this is called eye of the impeller, where the suction directly enters and gets connected at the center. Here the water is made to directly enter at the center of the impeller. Thereby the discharge will be radially outwards because of the centrifugal force acted from the center towards the periphery. And we can see very important part, that is casing, that is involute casing, or it is called volute casing, which has a differential area of flow. So you can see here there is a small area and the area here is more. In this slide we can see that the impeller has placed at the center and the casing is placed outside the impeller, and we can see that it has a blades, number of blades radially, or it is backward curved radially outward blades. So once the water gets forced out through these blades and it comes out and it starts accumulating in this area here, initially the velocity of the fluid will be very high at this region. Once it starts coming here, the area of cross section increases. Thereby we can see the water pressure gets raised, the velocity comes down. Another important aspect of this centrifugal pump is net positive suction head. It's a measure of how close the fluid at a given point is to flashing, or we can say it's a tendency to create cavitation. Technically, in equation wise, we can say it's an absolute pressure head minus vapor pressure of the liquid. In the previous slide, you have seen that the pressure at the vacuum side or low pressure side, if it goes below the vapor pressure of the liquid, the water starts boiling and thereby it starts bubbling. Bubbles are formed, so you can see the formation of bubbles which will slowly enter from this low pressure region towards the high pressure region. That bubbles, when it comes into the high pressure region, you can see that it gets bursted and it impacts on the surfaces of the impeller as well as on the pipe. So this creates a damage and it reduces the performance of the centrifugal pump. In order to find out the performance of the pump, we have some equations, that is actual discharge. It is nothing but the what actually we get outlet from the pump. In the sense, we can say theoretical discharge is not same as actual discharge because of the losses. The water gets sticked, or it may get leaked, or we will not be able to account 100% of the water what we measure from the theoretical equation. So actual discharge is measured with the help of V notch in the virtual experiment that I'm going to describe you later in the video. The equation is 14.17 into h power 5 by 2, where h is the hook gauge reading from the outlet tank. The outlet tank has a V notch, so from that we will get the discharge, that is actual discharge. So next, total head. So there is head developed, so actually the power will be accounted based on how much head the water is lifted. So we can count that head with the help of adding delivery head, suction head, as well as its elevation. If the pump is at some certain height, that elevation is also considered from the water surface. Then input power is nothing but the electrical input power what we are going to supply to the motor, because motor is the one thing which converts electrical power into shaft power, and the pump runs based on shaft power. Hence what we can see here is input power is in terms of watts, that is electrical energy supply, where WR is energy meter reading or watt meter reading, and WC is its constant, and ND is number of phases on which the power is supplied, and motor efficiency, so how much it is efficient to convert the supplied power into mechanical power. After conducting virtual experiments from the web portal, we will get the pump performance parameters like power consumed, power output, discharge, and total head generated. In the next step, we will plot these values to analyze the operating characteristics. In the graphs, we can see that we can plot 4 graphs, that is efficiency versus actual discharge, input power versus actual discharge, and total head versus actual discharge, and also output power versus actual discharge. In the screen, we can see the first graph, that is input power versus actual discharge. So here you can see along the x-axis actual discharge is plotted, along the y-axis input power is plotted. What we can observe, we can see that with higher the discharge values, the power consumed by the pump or the input power supply is also more. In this picture we can see that the plot is drawn for actual discharge in meter cube per second along x-axis to the total head along y-axis. We can observe here from the graph that with the increase in flow rate or discharge, the total head developed by the pump is decreasing. In this plot we can see that efficiency of the pump is coming down with the increasing discharge values. This image displayed on the screen shows the plot for actual discharge versus output power. So we can observe from the graph the output power slowly increases with the increase in actual discharge values. After the designed condition, it reaches maximum output power, and then once the discharge crosses its design value, so we can see that output power is slowly coming down with respect to the actual discharge. Let's start the performance characteristics virtual experiment of centrifugal pump. The objective is to conduct the performance test on centrifugal pump and to plot the operating characteristics. This we have already discussed in the previous session. The operators used are centrifugal pump and its setup. There is a wattmeter or energy meter, tachometer to measure the speed of the rotor, then V notch setup to measure the flow rate. This part is V notch, and there is a hook gauge. Hook gauge is fixed in this area. We can see in this area we can find out the hook gauge, and measuring scale. So here there is a measuring scale, and there are pressure gauges here. We can see this is delivery pressure gauge, and here in this region we can see suction pressure gauge. This is a suction pipe. Whatever you see in this region is a suction pipe, and we can say this is delivery pipe. So here what we see in this region is the power on and off button along with wattmeter. So this wattmeter, what we have identified here, is fixed in this region of the setup. So after this you can press next button. So the next step is to start the pump by pressing the start button. So what you see here is the start button. So you can see this board has two options. One is energy meter or watt meter, along with the start and stop button. The green button, if we press, you can see the finger, we can click here. So if you press, the pump will start. So the first action is to start the pump by pressing the start button. After this, we'll move to the next procedure. So we have to connect the motor gear with the pump. So there is a shaft and there is a handle also. If we connect this, we will set the speed of the motor. So we can set the speed of the motor, and it also connects the motor to the shaft. And after some time we can see the RPM of the rotor. So you can see we have a tachometer here. So in this region what do we see is a tachometer. So this will give the speed or speed of the motor in terms of RPM, rotations per minute. So we will insert this inside the measuring region. So this hole will get connected to the motor or a shaft so that you can read the speed of the motor. So here it is going to display 1000 rotations per minute. In the next step, we'll go to the next step. So here in this step, now the pump is running, but the delivery valve is not turned on. So what we do is first open the delivery valve. We can see that open the delivery valve. So in this region I will just turn the delivery valve, and next we have to fix the water level. Now you have to check what is the initial reading of the water. So here we will measure the water height or discharge with the help of hook gauge. This is called hook gauge. I will just show you. It has a rod, center rod, which is slidable. It moves up and down. So once the water level comes, we have to connect the pointer to the surface of the water. So let me open the delivery valve first. So that now the delivery valve is open and the fluid start coming from the pump into this tank. So this is the tank, collecting tank or delivery tank. So in this tank, once the flow when starts through this V notch, you can see there is a water level. I'm going to now, the pointer is not connected at the surface, so I will click here. Now you can see that water level is exactly coinciding with the pointer. So this is initial reading. This is initial reading. Let me increase the flow rate. So now see, now the water level has come up. So the pointer has dipped inside the water level. So we need to fit it back to the surface so that we will get what is the actual height or head of water. Yeah, move it. Now you have final reading 15. Initial reading is 1.24, final reading is 15.26 centimeter. Hence the head of water is 14.2 centimeter. So with this head, if you substitute in the equation of Q actual, you can get this head. If you substitute, you can get Q actual. So what we need is actual discharge. This is one of the performance parameter which we use to plot the graphs. So I will enter the value. Let me check. Yeah, so that is correct. You can now just answer the quiz. You are right. So okay, you can read and you can answer that quiz. So next, the fourth step is to measure the delivery pressure. You can measure the delivery pressure reading. You can click here, so you can read what is the pressure value. You can see that delivery head is 1 meter, so the pressure is 1 meter. Now in the next step, we have to measure the suction pressure. Earlier I have discussed, I have told you that this is the delivery pressure and this one is suction pressure. Let me check what is suction pressure value. The suction pressure head is 4.8 meters and this height Z is 43 centimeters. So the water level from the surface of the water till the pump center, this height whatever is measured is going to give you the reading of 43 centimeters. So now what is the total head? Equation is popping up, so you can substitute the total head at this location. Yeah, so the total head is 6.23. so once you know the total head, the next step is to measure the energy meter reading, because earlier I have discussed in this video that we are going to plot graph for actual discharge versus power input, efficiency versus actual discharge, like that. So these are the parameters. So we need power also, power consumption. So for that we have to check this board. This is energy meter or watt meter, which is displaying that the pump is motor is taking 425 watts of power. The next step, these are the observations, so which are used to calculate total power consumed. This is a watt meter reading. Then there are some constants, variables. I will just show you. Watt meter constant, number of phases that pump is running on, motor is running on, efficiency of the motor, and specific weight of water. So these things you can use it to calculate what is the input power and what is the output power. So now here there is a small description. So efficiency, what is efficiency? Efficiency is the level of performance that uses the lowest amount of inputs to create the greatest amount of outputs. Is nothing but output by input. So actual discharge I have already told in this same video, and input power is power what we give with the help of electrical connections. Output power is the power what we actually see after the pump. So the discharge coming out of the pump will give you the output power. It is nothing but pressure into discharge, or there is another equation, rho q gh. In another form we can say it as a rho q gh, rho being density, q is discharge, g is gravitational constant, and h is the head of the water. So next variables you can use it, and then we have to calculate and substitute the values here. The equation to calculate input power is WR, WC and efficiency of the motor as well as the phases. So after substituting I will get 2 kilowatt approximately, 2 kilowatt. Yeah, that is right. Then output power, as I told, it is Q actual into H, or nothing but rho Q G H, and if I substitute, that value will come approximately around 637.4. Then the efficiency equation is output by input into 100. So these calculations I have done, so I have the answer, that is 31.25 percentage. 31.25%. Let me check. Yeah, these are answers are right. So we'll move on to the next. What is the next option? We have to open the delivery wall. This is for trial 2. So you can see if you change the delivery value, the water level will again rise. So you can check. So this is for second trial. Okay, like that, please you can proceed with the second trial, again one more trial, third trial. After 3 trials you can plot the graph, which I have already explained in the previous session of the same video.